Hi, everybody. I'm Bianca Della Garza, and you have to check out Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthscast podcast. I was a guest. He has the best guests always. Check him out. With us here today. Let's bring in our very first guest, GOP political strategist and host of the Grassroots Truthcast podcast and a former county commissioner in Escambia County, Florida, Gene Valentino, and also senior contributor at The Federalist and editor-at-large with Real Clear Investigates, Benjamin Weingarten. Gentlemen, a pleasure.
Pleasure to be with you.
Georgia's such an important state. Early voting is underway. I know that Kamala Harris is continuing to try and amp up the rhetoric that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. In light of what we also heard last night from Joe Biden saying we have to lock up Donald Trump, and then he says politically, what do you make of today's events in Georgia and how the left maybe in full panic mode? Benjamin, I'll start with you.
Well, I think to your point, the more extreme and crazed and radical the rhetoric, the more desperate it reflects the Harris-Walz campaign is. And that's in no small part because if you look at the last several dozen battleground state polls, Donald Trump is winning a majority of them. When you look at the national polling averages, Donald Trump there's been compression in terms of the margin there. And maybe most telling of all, betting markets have swung in Donald Trump's favor to the largest degree that we've seen during this cycle. Plus, on top of that, voter registration by party, as well as what we're seeing in early voting numbers in certain states like Nevada, all of these are indicators that Donald Trump is doing very well. And so what is the Democrats' response? It's to yell Trump is Hitler again. And it's really there's a there they go again sort of aspect to this, of basically projection, because the police state tactics that they're talking about, weaponizing every single agency against their political opponents, running roughshod all of our basic liberties, that's exactly what the Democrats have been doing to their political opposition. So they are everything that they claim their political opponents are, and I don't think it's going to wash with the American people after years of gaslighting us.
No, and the desperation sort of came out again today as we saw them using John Kelly, a former Trump chief of staff, an interview with the New York Times. He says Trump's a fascist. And let's just play a little bit of this and get your reaction, Gene, because it was something that Kamala and Walz both tried to use to control the news cycle today.
I think he'd love to be just like he was in business. He could tell people to do things and they would do it, and not really bother too much about whether what the legalities were and whatnot.
Now, Kamala Harris pounced on this, and this was her moment today. Let's play this and get your reaction.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
Ooh, this is panic mode, isn't it? I mean, Ben talked about projection, but this is really reeks of desperation.
Yeah, the Democrats are in full meltdown, Bianca, and they are burdened by the passage of time, aren't they? The fact of the matter is, these former assistants to Trump showed no reverence or loyalty during his term of office. They would beg to have Donald Trump back in there now and save this nation from the trials and tribulations that America has had to deal with these last 4 years. It's shameful that, all I know is that Donald Trump's new cabinet and the circle around him will be better picked next time, and he'll do 10 times more in 10 times less time.
Well, you have folks like Elon, who's ready to jump in there. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard said she's going to join the Republican Party. You know, Benjamin, I bring this up because you are at the Federalist, and I wrote an op-ed for the Federalist. It dropped within the past 24 hours. And, you know, what I was lining out was an excerpt from my new book, but it is the Joy campaign is really Donald Trump. You know, he's out there, he's cracking jokes, I say, throwing hats. they want to portray him as some doom and gloom would-be dictator, but so far the two presidents that I can think of who tried to throw their enemies in prison, well, Barack Obama and, of course, all the lawfare under Joe Biden. And, that's what people remember. You just said it's sort of this, here we go again. I don't know. People are different this time around. I think the lies, the suppression maybe of the Hunter Biden laptop, and here this election cycle, they're just not going to buy it. That's my take.
Well, and when you see a story like this, the Jeffrey Goldberg story pops, and then you have General Kelly come out, it just reeks of being a coordinated op, to your point, just like the 50-plus members of the intelligence community come out and give a talking point to Joe Biden that he can use in a debate to try and distract from and put a pin in the fact that he was a compromised figure, compromised by foreign powers, exactly what they accused Donald Trump of. I think after years of this, after multiple assassination attempts, after the coordination between the uniparty elite and regime propaganda media, I don't think the American people buy it anymore. You clearly see it in the distrust of corporate media, of course, and you see it in the unpopularity of the uniparty. To your point, I think this is a campaign that is confident. It's out there delivering its message to a wide array of audiences. It's aggressive. And I think it's going to be a far more dynamic administration as well. And look at what Kelly and others are saying. They're basically saying we need to make sure there are people in who can sabotage Donald Trump, which is to say undermine the agenda that the American people want to vote for. I don't think it's going to happen the second time around.
I don't think so either. And Donald Trump's also going to go on Joe Rogan. I have about 20 seconds, Gene. This alternative media and reaching the masses is very effective. Kamala Harris can barely put together a sentence, even when she's at a town hall with no one asking questions, a faux town hall. Final thought to you.
Real quick, I think that people learn things at different rates of time in our life, some faster, some slower. The beauty is we've learned before we've failed and lost a nation. I think enough people, too big to rig is the right phrase, because I think there's too many people, whether it's in the early voting or what's lined up after the election, to repair and remedy the shortcomings of the last 4 years and to get ourselves back into the patriotism we have for this nation.
I have a lot of hope as well. Ben Weingarten, Gene Valentino, thank you, gentlemen, for sticking around with us today here on Newswire. Great comments and great conversation.
Thank you.
Because of your overwhelming support, our $14.88 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.